Welcome to Tight Lining, Maryland. Many of you are new to this channel, so if you're watching, thank you. Please consider liking and subscribing. But today, I want to show you how to effectively fish a run. So if you're watching today's video, what you're gonna see me do is you're gonna hear me talk about the rig that we're gonna use. You're gonna see me fish one and only one run. Hopefully I can prove to you how this method of fishing and how we approach the stream is super effective. If you have any interest at the end of the video, if you're still thinking that like you wanna learn more or that you wanna try it yourself, we're doing Euro nymphing clinics at Great Feathers. We're doing them up in Pennsylvania. I still have space in each class. One of the sections is almost completely full, but they are booking up and there's still a couple weeks left to join us. So if today when you watch you're like, man, that looks like a lot of fun, hopefully you can join us on the stream. So the setup we're using today is our Thomas & Thomas contact rod. On there what we have is Euro nymphing fly line, a Sage ESN reel. I have on a micro leader as well. We're using an egg pattern and a Tasmanian devil. A lot of the water that we're gonna try to approach today is gonna be the softer pockets. We're gonna get in here and meticulously pick apart this run, and I wanna show you how I'm gonna do that. So let's get out here and do some fishing and hopefully put some fish in the basket, so that way the next time you hit the stream, you can do the same. All right, so I'm out here fishing on the Gunpowder River. I'm just gonna fish this run, probably make it quick, try to catch, I don't know. In this run, with the way it's been going, the flows and the way the activity's been, I just picked up one. If I can catch 2 or 3 out of here in short order, maybe one on the inside, then the middle, and then outer, I would be pretty content with that. It's been a good day so far. I think I've caught about 8 to 10 fish. Fish are definitely active. I mean, the bugs are starting, and you've got, spring flows where things are prime. And on top of that, we had a lot of fish spread out because of them having the room to do so. I mean, they're just thick, fat, and sassy. So it's been fun today, seeing the acrobatics, the aggressive takes, where they're all sitting and eating. It's a good time of year to be out on the water, so hopefully you've been getting out. So what we have on is a tandem nymph rig. I saw a pod of suckers earlier that were kind of all juiced up together and looking like they were doing something a little irregular, so I put on an egg pattern. Typically I fish eggs in October and November, maybe even December, January type time frame, but the sucker spawn does occur in a lot of streams. Depending upon where you're at and the water temps, they'll happen in March and April, if I'm not mistaken, in a lot of watersheds. So this particular one, because it's colder, I'm not surprised that maybe these were a little bit later than maybe other areas, but the key today has been getting down. If you have depth, you're catching fish. So that tandem nymph rig, I have on a 3-2 egg, and then I've got on a 3-2 Tasmanian devil. The egg is on the tag, and the Tasmanian devil's on the point, or that anchor fly. So what I've had to do in many cases though today is sink my sighter. That's a product of not having enough weight, but also not having enough tippet. And I wouldn't do that all day, but I would definitely do it hole to hole and situation to situation, because it does allow you to some degree to get away with when you don't have enough tippet. There goes a little guy, and there he goes, off and running. But it allows you to get down in areas that otherwise, if you don't want to make a change, you don't have to. You do induce a little bit of drag, and it's not the optimal setup that you would want to run all day. But if you run into a scenario where this hole, for example, is a little deeper than some of the other runs I've been in, well, then you gotta make some adjustments. So far that's one tiny guy though. There we go. That's gonna get down. That's gonna ride a lane that I want to be in. Let's sink that sighter a little bit, and there he is, right on cue. Put him back upstream. So I talk about fighting fish a lot when I'm doing clinics, classes, etc. Keep those fish upstream. Try to limit your feet and movement. Use the stream to bring that fish back to you, and once they kind of get in line with a seam of current that's right upstream, then you can lift that rod tip, let them thrash around, and bring them to the net. So it's a nice little fish. Good gunpowder brown, right around that average 8-9 inches that we like in here. Pretty fish, nice dark spots, white tip fins, and a little bit of magenta on the adipose. All right, thanks for playing along, my friend. So in these higher flows, what I'm typically looking for success, softer seams. You know, if I could insert the Hot Pockets theme song, but call it Soft Pockets, that's what I'd be looking for. So I have one right here where I just picked off a tiny little fish along a log. He's where he's supposed to be. One in the higher end, right up by the dump in, but then it softens out a little bit. There's another one right in here on the inside seam, another one over there. There's definitely one over there. So if I can chase all the soft pockets and soft seams, inevitably I should catch a good number of fish, because there's no question they're stacked in here. So I've already run some through here, picked up a couple that you're gonna see on film, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start fishing this outer seam. Nice little soft pocket or seam right there between the two runs, and as long as there's no down branches or anything like that, the hope would be to get one fish right out of that particular run. So I overshot just a little bit. We'll see if it's too much, or you know, what we need to do to get it in exactly the right spot. But there we go, perfect cast. Let's get those bugs down. We're using a Tasmanian devil and an egg pattern. Gonna sink that sighter a little bit just to make sure that it's absolutely getting down to the bottom. We have on what should be enough tippet, but sometimes you need to give it a little extra. When you do, you can be rewarded for that. So we're gonna slide over a little bit, cast a little higher into that inside part of that run. Don't want to be in the fast stuff yet. You know, when we get to late spring and summer, yeah, that's where the meat and potatoes are. But right now, you know, work the slow stuff. Be methodical. Pick every little nook and cranny. If you see something slow, pick it apart. There we go. Little guy took the egg, didn't feel a thing. That's a common question. He just came off because I played him upright. That's on me, but it's a common question. Do you feel it? Yeah, you do, but you don't want to. Ideally, you're just looking for your sighter to do something irregular or unnatural. There it was again. That one just changed speeds, kind of downshifted on me, and I wasn't in a spot where I felt like that should happen. But moral of the story is like, you do not want to feel all of your takes. If you can see them and get in line with what your sighter's doing and just read it, you'll be a heck of a lot better of an angler and catch a hell of a lot more fish. So that's always fun. We said we wanted 2 or 3. We've already caught 2. That makes 3. So what I was saying here is like, as that came down, I got a nice uniform slow drift. I was sinking the sighter just a little bit, and basically it went from a little bit of you know, sag with tension to just straightening up and pausing, and that was enough to indicate to me that we had an eat or had a take. So at that point, it's time to set the hook, and do not do a check set where you just lift to figure out, oh, is that a fish? Never do that. You know, set with enthusiasm. You know, a lot of times I'm asked, you know, how often should I be setting? You know, arguably you could do it on every cast, to be honest with you. Whether it's on the end of your drift, or if you're, you know, in the middle and you think something happened, set on just about everything. You know, the cliche is hook sets are free. There you go, that's another nice one. Hook sets are free, and you're not gonna catch fish without giving them a good hook set. So that's a nice brown for this particular run in this stream. We'll take it. He took the egg too, and as mentioned before, the reason why we're using an egg is you know, those suckers, even though the trout are all spawned out and those eggs are long gone, they should be fried by now, and you know, little fish. The reality is that, there you go, see you buddy, thanks for playing. The reality is there's a lot of other fish that can spawn in different parts of the year. So I've seen guys catch nice fish on eggs all the way through June. So nevertheless, that's what we're using. Tasmanian devil on the bottom. Tagging us out is the egg up on the top part. Key is good drifts, nice and slow. Nothing there. Okay, let's get it down, tuck that thing in, get contact. Wasn't great there. I didn't really get the contact I wanted. That was my fault. So that water's definitely trying to speed us up. So that's why you need heavy nymphs. I'm on a 3-2 and a 3-2, and those beads are barely getting down. But without weight, you're not going to catch fish. Those fish are tight to the bottom right now. They're not quite feeding mid-column. You know, I'd love to say they're in full swing mode, but full spring mode, but they're not yet. So what I'm doing is sliding back and, whoop, little guy. That was on accident. And this is why you never know. Keep your flies in the water, set. What that was is a back cast that was basically as good as a set, and a little brown trout that's gonna break the internet. There he goes. All right, so that's now 5 fish in there, even if one of them's accidental. Let's get them down. Let's hit the backside, nice and slow back here. Great depth. Gotta be some trout back in here. Got to be. We're gonna swing it out. All right, let's try it again. Let's get a little further across the stream. Tuck them in, lift them up, get those bugs down, sight are in contact, and then right by the obstruction, lift out so that you don't get snagged. We're gonna slide back up since we fished this. Only had the one take. Just try to get a little bit further across, pick up one final fish. That would be the goal. If we can't get it, that's okay. We still exceeded our original goal. Nope, there he is. Better fish too. He was in the faster stuff. I did not expect that. So I'm gonna slide downstream of him, get him into the slow stuff. That was like a hard, I thought we actually hung up. There we go. Tasmanian devil, and that fly is already out. Great fish. Again, set little goals for yourself every time you hit the stream. Before you even make a cast, what's your goal today? What are you working on? What do you want to catch? How do you want to catch them? What can you do to improve? Little things make such a world of difference. Then it keeps you engaged. Get locked in. Okay, slide back up. We're not done. That was the first cast in what I thought was going to be the last run. So it's nice to end on a fish, but it's also first cast, first fish. Put it on the far side bank, let them come down in. Yep, that will be the one that I end on. I know it's not a big guy, but it still is another one in the basket. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun whenever it all comes together. It's fun when you're dialed in and the fish are responding. I mean, we're in full spring mode, and now's the time to hit the water. That's gonna wrap it up for Tight Lining Maryland. Thank you for tuning in, and I really appreciate all the support. If you're new, I hope you'd consider subscribing. And if you live in the Maryland or Pennsylvania area, come out and share a stream with me, whether it's a guided trip or most importantly, some of the clinics where you can see how we break down a run and get some practice in. We do off the stream work as well as on the stream work, and it's 6 hours. We're doing that at Great Feathers on the 27th and 28th of April, and then we're also doing it at Creekside Fly Shop up in Pennsylvania on the 5th of May. So I hope to see you out. Tight lines the next time you hit the stream.